In video game related news, I keep hearing how such and such demographic isn't being marketed towards. Examples of these can be seen in where the main character is male and there is no female choice to be played. Also, other games where there's hardly any black people in it, or where gays are non-represented, they don't exist, and ditto if you're transgendered. I keep going and hearing all of this stuff, and to me, I really don't see the problem. Because what happened is that throughout all these things and all, people saying they're being excluded, my reaction is, well, so what? I mean, no, stop and think for a moment. I'm a straight white guy, okay? And as a straight white guy, there are a lot of things I am excluded from. Let's see, starting off, there's Oprah. Wow, what do you know? A talk show where the co-host is a woman. I don't go and see a male counterpart to that, do you? I don't. I mean, when's a guy going to go and show up on Oprah's show and co-host with her, as an equal? That's not going to happen. That's never happened, and it never will happen. And not only that but I keep hearing people complain about, women as sex objects, women as sex objects. Okay, but go and take a look at a woman's magazine. Compare a woman's magazine to a man's magazine. Okay, go and take a look at this stuff. What do you know? Tits on the cover like nothing else. Guess what? Without knowing what the title of the magazine was, one could be confused for the other. But hey, for women, that makes sense. Because for women, that's not objectification. That's desire fantasies. The center of attention, the every man in the room wants you kind of thing. That kind of idealized fantasy that goes on in their head. But it doesn't end there. But the point of it is, what about me? I mean, I'm a guy. I don't go and... there's nothing about me in a women's magazine, except how to control, manipulate me, or, train me like I'm some kind of dog. How about that? I mean, just because I'm a guy, and that's a woman's magazine, why can't you put something in a woman's magazine for guys? Wouldn't that be more towards equality? Also, chick flicks. I hate chick flicks. They're boring. They're dull. They put me to sleep. And yet, every girl there is wants to go and watch this. They're like, this is so romantic and everything else. And I'm like, well, okay. Why is that marketed just towards girls? Can't they go and put some action into it? I don't mean sex. I mean like something blowing up, for example. Not Michael Bay, but you get the idea. Can we do that, please? Of course we can't, because it's marketed towards women. Who cares about me? I'm just a guy. But it gets worse. What about Barbie? No, take a look at Barbie. I don't mean she's just being objectified, unrealistic standards. But if you want to talk about unrealistic standards, take a look at He-Man. Wasn't this guy like the hero of the 80s and he's now some kind of gay sex icon? But it doesn't end there. Other than unrealistic Rose, what of Ken? I mean, Ken is nothing more than an accessory. No one cares about Ken. It's like he's there to do stuff and that's it. Well, as a guy, that kind of offends me. Because that's not what I want in a relationship. I want it to be half and half, where two people are doing things hand in hand with each other, and they're just helping one another out. That's kind of what I'm looking for. But we don't get that, do we? So tell me, not only that but like I said, again, marketed just towards girls. Men aren't even a periphery sight. How messed up is that? Even in the My Little Pony movement, men at least got some recognition, even tentatively, But the point of it is, you don't even get that with Barbie. You don't even get any acknowledgement at all. How messed up is that? I mean, whoever it is that makes Barbie, Mattel, I guess, they need to go and concentrate on the male demographic. Because what they're doing is sexist. They're excluding men. Also, what of the clothing industry? Don't men wear dresses as well? How come when I go and watch a commercial, it's always a bunch of women in a dress and never a man? How sexist is that? Also, why can't I be a Playboy bunny? I mean, look, I weigh 250 pounds, so I'm one chunky son of a bitch here, but even so, you ever thought that maybe I'd like to go and do that? But even if I looked good, I couldn't because wrong gender. So tell me, how am I not being excluded from these things? And I'm going to get off the subject, gender right now, and I'm going to go and get into the subject of race. For example, Bet TV. How messed up is that? An entire black television show. Can I have a white television show? Just all whites, not a single black person being there in it? No, I can't. You can sit and say, well, all TV is white TV. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying where they go and sit out and announce this is a TV show solely for white people. If you're black, you're not our demographic. Can we go and do that too? Please? No, of course we can't. That'd be racist. But we can do it for the black person, can't we? Moving on. How about Black History Month? Martin Luther King. Again, people go and say, oh, every month's White History Month. And I'm like, yeah, really. Here's the problem, though. What about the other races, huh? I mean, how about a Yellow History Month, a Red History Month, a Brown History Month? Can we have those too? Yeah, technically we do, but nobody really celebrates them or notices them or even acknowledges they exist. Admit it, you didn't even know it existed until I went and told you they existed. Look this stuff up. They do exist to some degree. But they're just not celebrated or acknowledged by our culture. How messed up is that? So, isn't this offensive to the other minorities who are non-black and non-white? Also, going a step further, what about Spanish and Latino shows? I don't speak Spanish. Well, I can go and say hello and no, I don't speak this darn language. Speak English, please. That's about it. But the point is, okay, well, answer me this. If I don't go and speak Spanish, then how am I supposed to understand what's going on? I mean, shouldn't they be putting subtitles on the screen? Or at least having a channel where you can go and tune in and everything's dubbed in English? Wouldn't that be more appropriate, for their non-Spanish speaking people? Wouldn't that be more fair? So why am I being excluded just on my nationality? Come on, how messed up is that? Not only that there, but what about foreign countries that speak their own language? Again, I'm not Chinese, I'm not French, I'm not Italian, I'm not whatever this country is. So what are they doing speaking stuff that I don't understand? Shouldn't they be all speaking English? Because why should I change and adapt to their country? I mean, if I move to China, suddenly everyone in China should be speaking English around me. And not only that there, but I should be able to live like I'm in America because, let's face it, in that country, I'm a minority. Everyone should be bowing to me because I am a minority. And, and as we all know, the majority is evil, corrupt, and really shouldn't be trusted at all. Moving on, we can go and hit the gays. No, seriously, take a look at the gay pride parades. How about this? The gay pride parade, I'm a straight guy. Well, I can't go to it. Well, I can go to it, but it's kind of pointless for me to be there. I mean, I don't care for that. There's nothing going on that I want to see. I want to go and see tits, big, round, firm breasts that I want to suckle on. That's what I want to see. So where's that at? I don't mean the lesbian crap. I don't care. Well, okay, I'm lying. I'd love to see that. But the point is, me going to a gay pride parade, not much there. And the girls I'd be interested in, they don't want nothing to do with me. So I'm going to be attracted to something, and the people I'm attracted to don't want nothing to do with me, all because I'm straight. All because I'm a guy. How messed up is that? So I'm being excluded from this here. And what about Playgirl on top of that? I mean, I know more than just gay men read this stuff, but again, pick up a Playgirl magazine. Okay, how much of this stuff is going to be marketed towards a guy? Again, I'm being excluded just because of my sexual orientation here. And it doesn't end there either. I don't mean just race, gender, and skin color. I mean, that's all the, top of the level stuff. It goes further than that. I mean, down to interests. For example, NASCAR, country music, and sports in general. I don't like them. I never do. They don't appeal to me at all. Yet they keep airing them. Why? Why do they keep putting stuff on TV that I don't like? I don't care about football or, racing or whatever else. And so what's going on is they're basically discriminating against me because my interest isn't the same as theirs. I'm interested in other stuff, and they're doing this instead that doesn't appeal to me at all. Well, as an individual, why should I go and be excluded from stuff? Isn't that wrong? And while we're on the subject of sports, here's a question I gotta go and ask. Why is it that if I were to participate in a sport, I'm going to lose every single time? I mean, come on, I'm a heavy-set person, okay? I'm big, I'm round, I'm not going to be very fast on my feet. So if I'm in a sports against somebody, that means I'm going to lose every single time. Well, to make things fair, shouldn't this person be handicapped so that I can actually compete against them? Shouldn't they be equipped with weights or some kind of other handicap just to slow them down? And while we're talking about physical, what about mental? Now, I mean, I'm doing pretty good in the mental department. I try to be rational, reasonable, and everything else. However, what if the person I'm talking to is a complete retard, aka a feminist? Shouldn't I be penalized somehow just to go and make things fair for that person? You know, like having a whistle go off in my ear every 10 seconds so that my thoughts will constantly be interrupted and so that I can't go and hold a coherent thought for longer than 5 seconds. Ooh, paper bag, paper bag, paper bag. Just so that I would actually be dumbed down to the level of the person I'm actually talking with. I mean, can you imagine how terrible that would be? Just to go and actually just completely curb stomp someone in an intellectual debate? I mean, think of that person's ego. What's going to go and happen to him? If you're a smart person, you should feel terrible because you are oppressing dumb people. And as a smart people, I realize this. I realize that I am oppressing stupid people. And I apologize for it, and I freely admit that I suffer from smart privilege. And now I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, none of this is making sense. Everything you just went and listed and everything else, it's stuff that doesn't involve you, doesn't include you, but no one's actively going against it. And I'm like, well, yeah, but that's kind of my point. All this stuff that I'm talking about, that I'm being excluded from, well, it's not that I'm being excluded, it's just that I'm not the target demographic. And there's no use to go and market it towards me because that'd be wasted time, effort, and money. But here it is, we can go and get like, oh no, the main character isn't female, or oh no, we don't have any gays, or, you know, whatever trivial crap you want to come up with. Well, okay, so tell me this here. How is the stuff that I say is just nitpicking and trying to fault find something to complain about? But when these other social justice warriors come on the scene and they do the same thing, they're taken seriously. Do you think it could probably be because of my race, gender, and skin color? You know, being a white straight guy? Okay, if that's all that's different and all that makes one be, you know, worth catering to and the other one, you know, only suitable to be ignored, then isn't that actually discrimination right there? After all, if you're going to go and cater to the SJW's demands, why not cater to my demand? My demands are just as, you know, just as minor and nitpicking as theirs. So what does it matter? Still, the point is the same. A lot of this stuff, people need to quit worrying about it. If you're not represented, if you're not involved, great. That's fine. If it bothers you that much, ask them if they can go and do it. Quit saying, oh no, I'm being discriminated or marginalized against. No, you're not. You're just not the target demographic. That's all it is. I've said my piece. ODO out.